Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm a research assistant at the Robert Schuman Center for Advanced Studies at the European University Institute in Florence.
Hello, my name is Giulia Bonacquisti and I work at the Trans-European Policy Studies Association in Brussels, where I'm involved in the InDivEU project on differentiated integration.
Let's start this video with a provocative question. Has the European Union lost its capacity to act?
In the new millennium, the European Union has experienced a series of major crises, such as the failure of the Constitutional Treaty, the Eurozone crisis, the migration crisis, Brexit, and most recently COVID-19. In these situations, the European Union was not always able to agree on fair and effective responses to this crisis, and the major reason for this was the challenge of reaching agreements within a very diverse group of 27 member states.
But how can the European Union enhance its capacity to act swiftly and united while staying committed to preserving the cultural and political diversity of its member states?
One of the possible solutions to this dilemma is differentiated integration. Differentiated integration means that not all EU member states need to participate in all EU policies to the same degree and at the same time. This can make it easier to reach an agreement within a smaller group of member states.
In recent years, differentiated integration has become more prominent in the political debate. French President Emmanuel Macron is a forceful advocate of advancing European integration through differentiation. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has repeatedly signaled that she views differentiation as a means to move European integration forward, provided that initiatives remain open to all other member states. By contrast, Brexit illustrates that differentiation also entails major challenges. Before its withdrawal from the European Union, the United Kingdom enjoyed the highest number of exceptions from EU rules. Yet these concessions did not prevent Brexit from happening.
Our project, Integrating Diversity in the European Union, or InDivEU, aims to contribute to the debate on the future of Europe by assessing, developing and testing a range of scenarios for different levels of integration between the EU member states. When it comes to the causes of differentiated integration, we distinguish between demand-side factors and supply-side factors. The demand for differentiated integration is determined by differences in the member states' preferences and capacities. For example, some member states may wish to integrate more than others, and they can currently do so through the mechanism of enhanced cooperation. And an example here is the European Public Prosecutor. Some other member states, on the contrary, may wish to obtain exemptions from some EU provisions, and they can do so by negotiating so-called opt-outs from EU treaties. And examples of this are the British opt-outs from the Euro or from the Schengen area. Finally, some other member states may not fulfill the requirements for joining a certain EU policy. And this is common, for instance, when a new member joins the European Union.
Supply for differentiated integration is determined by the costs and benefits of differentiation. For example, because the proposed European financial transaction tax would benefit non-participating member states, it has proven difficult to establish enhanced cooperation in this area. Institutional factors may also enable or limit differentiation. For example, enhanced cooperation requires the participation of at least 9 member states. What are the different forms of differentiated integration? One of the most well-established frameworks for thinking about differentiated integration was introduced by Alexander Stubb, former Prime Minister of Finland. But why don't we let Alexander introduce his framework?
Over 20 years ago, I wrote my PhD on differentiated integration. I was trying to figure out what it actually means. And you know what? I came up with 3 things: time, space, and matter. What does that mean? Time is multi-speed. It basically means that you can do integration at your own pace. When you join the European Union, you're given time to adapt to directives and regulation. Space, variable geometry. Not everyone has to do everything all the time at the same time. So for instance, the euro. Only an X number of member states are part of the euro, others have decided to be outside. And then number 3, matter. A la carte, you can pick and choose which area you want to cooperate or participate in. That, to me, time, space and matter, multi-speed, variable geometry and a la carte, is what differentiated integration is all about. And remember, differentiated integration has always existed and will always exist, but that is not the ultimate solution for European integration. It's just a wonderful tool.
Another framework which is central to the InDivEU project is based on the distinction between internal and external integration. This framework will be summarized by Professor Brigitte Laflamme, who is the director of the Robert Schuman Center in Florence.
Managing diversity is a major challenge for the European Union, and one way of addressing it is differentiated integration, which comes in 2 flavors, internal and external. Internal differentiation occurs when not all member states participate in major European policy regimes. For example, the euro area, 19 member states with 2, Croatia and Bulgaria, in the waiting room. The common foreign and security policy, which Denmark has opted out of because of defence. The area of internal security, justice and police cooperation, where Ireland and Denmark have special arrangements. And then there's the Schengen area, border-free Europe, which involves most but not all member states and a number of non-member states, thereby crossing the divide between internal and external differentiation. External differentiation is characterized by the relationships that the EU has with its near neighbors. 1, the European Economic Area involving Norway, Liechtenstein and Iceland, very institutionalized. 2, the bilateral relationship with Switzerland, which involves well over 100 individual deals. 3, a customs union with Turkey, and 4, a variety of association agreements that the EU has with the countries to the east and to the south. The big question for external differentiation this year is what kind of relationship the UK will have with the EU now that it has morphed from being an opt-out country within the EU to a third country.
To conclude, let's now look at what can be the main advantages and disadvantages of differentiated integration. On the one hand, differentiated integration can enhance the European Union's capacity to act, especially in the face of major challenges. For example, in the midst of the Eurozone crisis, the fiscal compact was a pragmatic solution for reforming the Eurozone despite the opposition of some member states. On the other hand, however, differentiated integration also increases the cost of coordination between the different integration regimes and can hinder solidarity between the member states.
Differentiation can also contribute to advancing European integration, where we would otherwise see deadlock. Allowing member states to opt out of treaty provisions has sometimes proven necessary in order to agree on treaty change. However, Brexit illustrates that differentiated integration can also lead to disintegration.
Differentiated integration can be seen as a way for member states to adjust their level of involvement in the European projects to their own national interest.
For example, the Danish exceptions from the European security and defense policy can be seen as a way of accommodating the concerns of Danish citizens. However, at the European level, differentiated integration threatens to undermine the idea of a European citizenship, as citizens of different member states would enjoy different sets of rights and obligations in a differentiated union. This concludes our video on differentiated integration.